Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for, this is a bonus reading. We are going to do a past, present, future reading, but I'm also pulling a card off of the top of this deck right here, and this is going to be a theme-based reading. So it's going to be based off of this card right here, and it says power. How appropriate for Capricorn that Capricorn would get a power card, right? So that is going to be the main theme of this reading. You have in your past position, you have the sun. It says the sun is coming to shine a light on what's been hidden to reveal the truth. You have this tears of remorse card. It says make peace with your regrets and allow the past to guide your future actions, which it's coming up in the past position. So, obviously this could be a good thing for you here, Capricorn. And sorry, wrong camera. But, again, you could be realizing, I kind of get the feeling here, Capricorn, with these three cards, King of Wands, Judgment, and the Temperance card. Like, I feel like this is more that you are seeing, the things that hold you back, about yourself, maybe. And so, the good news is this is coming up in the past. I feel like you are taking control of your, inner power here. Again, the theme of your reading is going to be power. And so you could be taking more control over yourself, kind of, with this energy. Now, one thing I will say is that today is May 17th. This video will be published on May 18th. And we have the Sun conjunct Uranus today, the 17th and the 18th. Basically this weekend, the Sun will be conjunct Uranus, but the Sun moves pretty quickly, so it doesn't last very long. But the Sun conjunct Uranus is very interesting and is a powerful transit that is happening in the astrology. And so a lot of people right now are being asked to reveal their truth, right? So if there's some sort of truth that you want to reveal, then I would have the confidence and use your power to do it with the King of Wands. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you are telling someone the truth. This is more personal, right? So with the Sun conjunct Uranus, these are kind of like personal truths. Like it's like maybe your truth is that you want to have more fun in your life. And so today, if you're watching this on the 18th when I publish it, and even if you're watching it, a couple weeks after, today, you should go do something fun if that's what you want to do, right? So you have to do the things that are your truth. The King of Wands is a great card for power. He's a card of being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. So I think it would be an amazing time for you to embrace your bold, assertive power inside of yourself. I don't really feel like this is a person. I mean, for some of you it could be, but, for the most part, and there is love showing up here, obviously, with the Four of Wands, the Lovers, and all that other stuff. But I kind of feel like this is more an energy that you will be embracing. You have the Judgment card. It's like, I don't know, I'm really focused on their hair for some reason. They have this golden hair, all the people on this card. And it's like saying to me that something is like popping into your head, Capricorn, or, this is something, I know what this is. This is something that repeats in your life. I feel like there's like an idea or there's a plan or a goal or something that you've been trying to achieve, and I feel like it keeps repeating in your head. I don't care about their frosted tips on this card, right? It's not something I ever pay attention to, but it's like really popping into my head here. And it's like I also have like golden thread popping into my head as well. And I think, I could be wrong, but, golden thread is like a writing term. It's like following a logical order, right? In writing, I don't know. I'm sure someone who knows more than me will leave a comment saying what it is. But, that's kind of like popping into my head, the whole logical order thing, because we have the Eight of Wands right next to it. All those wands are pointing in one direction, and I don't want to skip too far ahead here, but, all those wands are pointing in one direction, but they are all in a different position on the card. They are all going to hit at different moments, right? And, I kind of feel like things, in some ways, it's like things are going in the right order, but also don't get bent out of shape if you're like trying to accomplish something right now and it goes out of order, because it just means that it just hasn't happened yet. But I do think there's like something about order here. Maybe when we clarify, we'll get more details. You have the Temperance card. Temperance is patience, of course. I think it's time for you to make your move here as well, Capricorn, which I feel like I say to you and Cancer every single week. It's like it used to be Pisces and Virgo that were the most similar opposites. Now it's you and Cancer that are the most similar opposites in the tarot, or at least in my readings, right? And so he's trying to make something perfect, but he has this path right here, which is called the path to glory, and it basically says like he could get started right now. There's nothing more for him to wait for. So if you're thinking about doing something in your life, or like starting a project or an idea or a business or whatever, like now is the time, is kind of what I'm getting on this card. And I feel like this is something that I've been saying to you for weeks. So it's definitely time to get started. With the King of Wands, you have the Magician. I said this to you because I made a joke about the T.I. song, You Can Have Whatever You Like, right? I used to blast that song in high school, let me tell you. But anyway, that's what I feel like is going on here, is that you could be really attracting a lot of good stuff into your life. It's like things that you've asked for. I think here's the other interesting thing as well, is like I don't really have any good examples for you other than myself, so I apologize for talking about myself here. But it's like there are some things, like even right now, I am far from perfect, right? There are things that I know I should be doing right now to match the energy to like become what I want to be, right? But it's like I almost have like this internal resistance, which I do believe we should also be listening to our resistance. But sometimes I also think we need to buck up and say like, get over yourself. It's like if you want to do this thing, you have to do it, whatever it is. And so like I kind of feel like both energies here with the Magician. It's like I think that there are certain energies, or there are certain activities that you could be doing that will get you closer to your goal, but I do feel a little bit of that resistance. Am I worried about it? No, because you have the Eight of Wands in your present position, so I think you eventually will, but I do think at least like what things could be holding you back. With the Judgment card, you have the Five of Pentacles. I think you need to tell yourself you deserve something. It's like the universe is calling you towards something. With the Judgment card, calling you to, normally that would be a card of being called towards your purpose. With the whole golden thread thing and the whole like golden hair on the card that I'm so focused on in this reading for some reason, I never pay attention to that. I think it's like your mind is going towards a goal, but it's like maybe you don't think you deserve it. It could be anything. And I feel like this is, you need to stop calling attention to your weaknesses, and you need to go for something you want. With the Temperance card, you have the Queen of Swords. A ton of clarity in these readings. So pretty much every single reading I've done so far, everyone has had a ton of clarity cards. And she has clouds only halfway up her body. The story of this card is that she's gaining clarity for the first time. So a lot of you could be much more clear on where you're going. Now, we also had that full moon in Scorpio on May 12th. And that moon was kind of challenging, but at the same time, I think that it kind of did bring a lot of clarity into our lives. I would also say that the new moon that we're having on the 26th is amazing, very positive, and I feel people could really feel set free after that new moon. So, again, there could just be a lot of clarity coming in for you. Next, in your present position, you have the Spirit card. It says, unseen forces watch over you, so like you are protected. You have this key. It says, locked doors can now be opened. Now is the time here, Capricorn. Now is the time to turn that key, or to use those keys to open those doors and to start making progress. And yeah, that's what I would do with the key card. I also get this energy here of you kind of like, well, let me show you. You have the Four Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Hierophant. But I kind of feel like this is almost like saying you can increase your efforts now, is what I'm getting in this row. So, if you've been working on something for a long time and you're not getting much of a result, I do think that if you increase your efforts now, that you will get a result. So I do feel this is kind of saying increase your efforts on whatever it is that you're working on, because you're about to be successful. And, don't be afraid to commit, is what the Four of Wands says. The Four of Wands is a card of marriage, and there is a little bit of love in your reading, but sometimes I feel the Four of Wands is saying we need to set ourselves free from this side of the card, and we need to cross through this threshold. Four of Wands is really a card of completion. Even a lot of tarot books like Golden Tarot, I thought I had Golden Tarot here, I don't, but the Golden Tarot Cat Black version, she says something about this being a card of like freedom. And there are other books that say the same thing, that the Four of Wands, like sometimes we have to complete one thing, cross through this threshold so we can be set free. So definitely time to set yourself free. You have the Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Nine of Pentacles, a card of independence, gratitude, luxuries. Eight of Wands, a card of quick success. I do feel like things are speeding up for you. Like, things will be happening fast for you here, Capricorn. Especially if you're making any moves, I think things will progress a lot quicker. And I also kind of get the feeling that if you do something that you've been hesitating on a little bit right now, that you will be very happy that you did in the future. It's kind of like one of those things where sometimes I think we know that we need to do something, whatever it is in life, and it's like we don't do it, but if we would just do it, we would be happy that we did. And I don't know, that's kind of popping into my head with these two cards, that there could be something that you will be very happy that you did in the future, but maybe right now you're hesitating. The Eight of Wands can also represent good news. So if you're hoping for communication, I kind of do feel this, Capricorn, that some of you could be hoping for communication from a person. And I do feel the Eight of Wands is saying that you will be getting communication if you're hoping for communication. Or, if you're just hoping that a person will talk to you in the first place. Like maybe you want to talk to a person. I feel like this is saying yes. The Nine of Pentacles, I am also getting very good money stuff. Like I get a very good feeling about money in this reading. It's not really a financial reading, right? There are some financial cards, but I get a very good card of that, a very good feeling about that card. Losing my mind today. But I feel that if you have any skills, that you could be making more money with your skills. You have the Hierophant. It's like I almost just feel that you are in alignment with it's almost like this is the universe. The Hierophant is the teacher. He is the bridge between heaven and earth, and he communicates with both sides. But I almost feel like the Hierophant in this sense is like the universe, and I feel like the universe is bringing you blessings because you are in alignment. It's like he is blessing these two people in front of him. But I kind of feel that the universe is giving you a little bit of a pat on the back here, Capricorn, and is bringing something in for you, which is great. With the Four of Wands, you have the Six of Swords, which you have twice right here. Six of Swords, of course, can represent moving on to calmer shores, can represent improvements, heading on to calmer shores. And I do feel like you could be heading towards calmer shores here with these cards. And you've definitely, there's no doubt about it, the last 20 years of your life has been choppy waters. With the Nine of Pentacles and what was the other card? Eight of Wands. You have the Justice card. I get a weird message here as well for you, Capricorn, that I feel like that you shouldn't be doing things in balance almost. I'm not encouraging you to burn yourself out or anything like that, but I almost feel like the Eight of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Justice card, I feel like these cards are encouraging you to really put a lot of energy into what's working. Meaning that if you start something right now, like in business or work or in love or whatever, if it's working, just keep doing what works. And if you feel like you want to work on something for 12 hours a day, go for it. I almost feel like this is giving you permission to put a bunch of work into something. Now, of course, I think we should do everything in balance and don't burn yourself out, don't get sick. But it's almost like this card is giving you permission to put energy into something, just saying go for it. And that's the energy I get on that card. With the Hierophant, you have the World. Yeah, your card, right? So the World is Capricorn. You could be standing out in the world. A lot of your readings for the past year or so have been saying it's time for Capricorn to kind of be on top of the world. It's time for you to get that attention or stand out or, kind of allow people to see you. And so a lot of you could be putting yourself out there more in the world. This could also be an accomplishment as well. Next, in the area of your future position, you have this Canary Spirit. It says, sing your song. You have this Turtle Spirit. It says, slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, I feel like it's time to speak up, and it's time to share your inner voice, or, it's time to share things with the world. So if you're thinking about doing anything that could be involve you sharing, then that, the theme of this reading is power. So I feel a lot of you could be gaining in power by sharing your voice. You have the Six of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. Whenever I have a card like here, and then it shows up again here, to me, it says that the universe is zooming in on that card. So it's just giving us more details on the Six of Swords here. I kind of feel like it's saying the Six of Swords is a process that you have been going through. It's coming up in the future, so you will probably be finishing this process in the future. But the Six of Swords, of course, is moving on to calmer shores. So you are clearly moving away from something. And again, we're zooming in here on that Six of Swords. And of course, you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. It's basically moving on to calmer shores. It is basically you letting go of the past and moving into the future, or following some sort of spark, right? I always say that the Ace of Wands is my favorite card in the tarot because I think the Ace of Wands is just that one thing that we need sometimes to motivate us to be successful, or it's like just that one answer we need. It's that spark of hope, that spark of inspiration. And I definitely feel some of you could be kind of getting that spark back in your life. It's like you're finding some sort of spark that inspires you. But again, this castle in the background is crumbling. So the Ace of Wands can represent completely releasing the past so that you can have something new or better in your life. And that's probably what you're doing with this card. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is like wish fulfillment. So I do feel that there could be some sort of wish that's being fulfilled for you, or something that you've been wishing for is coming in for you right now. So that looks amazing. The other thing is that we have two nines. Two nines in the tarot to me represents newness. So it can definitely represent a new beginning. And again, the Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. So there definitely could be some sort of new beginning here. You also have the World. The World is a card of completion. So the World can say that you're completing one thing and you're, moving on to something new, right? So that would also make sense. But let's see here. With the Six of Swords, you have the King of Swords. I feel like you know everything, Capricorn. I don't know. I just feel like you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I feel like saying you're right about everything. So I feel like you should be trusting your inner knowledge and wisdom. The King of Swords has been through the most battles of any king, and he has all this knowledge and wisdom based off those battles. So it's almost like you have just gained a bunch of knowledge, and maybe you're using that knowledge to create a much better life for yourself, by going across these choppy waters and moving towards something that you actually want. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Knight of Swords. I feel pretty good about this Knight of Swords. You have the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands right next to each other here. And the Knight of Swords is about charging forward towards success. So sometimes the Knight of Swords can be bad, but sometimes I also think the Knight of Swords can be good. And I do feel like this is saying that you are kind of building a lot of momentum in your life. I feel like you are creating more success or charging forward towards success and speed. It's like something is happening quickly for you here, Capricorn. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. I feel like you need to be more curious. This tells me I feel like you need to be more curious about things that you don't think you can have, right? It's like, I like to play this game with myself all the time. It's like maybe you want a Ferrari, and maybe you're thinking to yourself, I'll never have that. Well, with that attitude, yes, you will never have that. But if you start thinking how could I have that? And start researching it, you never know, right? Crazier things have happened. So, if you start researching something, it's like our manifestations don't come to us, in ways that we think. I'll tell you what, you cannot make this up. I will tell you a crazy story. I was saying to my brother in the car that, we recently moved to an area where, I would think that there would be a lot of snakes where I live. That might creep some of you out, right? But it just seems like a snaky area, right? And I go for a walk every day. I have not seen one snake since I moved here. And so I was telling my brother this the other day in the car. And I was like, I'm going to manifest a snake in my life just because I want to see one, right? And then what happened is the lovely Devin Dewar, what happens last night? I kid you not. Literally last night, she sends me a picture of a snake that was in her backyard, right? So technically I manifested a snake, right? So it's like things do not come to us directly. The snake didn't show up for me directly. It showed up for someone else. But, I did technically manifest that snake that I wanted to see. So, like I said, Page of Swords says you have to just be curious. Play the game, right? Look at it as a game. Next, in the area of your outcome, you have this love card, which you have the Lovers. You have the slow it down card. Yes, I think that, I would be careful with that Knight of Swords and the Ace of Wands. I don't think this is bad, but, this could be a very passionate connection, right? If you catch my drift here. And, what I would say is that don't rush. You know, you have like I would enjoy the moment, you know, and don't be too handsy with this person, you know, 24/7. You know, I would give this time to develop and all that other good stuff, right, Capricorn? You have the Lovers, the Four of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like both people could be moving a little, like wanting to move a little bit quick. Again, I'm not saying you have to play games or anything like that. But what I am saying is, like, I think sometimes we should just enjoy the process. Don't try to rush things, right? And I definitely get that feeling here. But if you want love, could be a very passionate connection coming in for you. I do feel like it's like a little bit of an irresistible connection. It's like the two of you probably, you know, won't be able to keep your hands off each other. So, you know, get a room, Capricorn, and no one needs to see that, you know, on a beach or anything like that. So, you know, do it responsibly with the Lovers, but there you go. You have the Four of Cups. I think that there will be moments, if this is love, I feel there will be moments where you think to yourself, like, oh, is this going to be bad like the other ones, right? You know, he has been disappointed by something at least 3 times before. And so he isn't really accepting this opportunity into his life. You know, like, it's kind of weird, the message I'm getting in this row, because if you want love, I do feel like this is saying you have to fully accept it, but also don't rush. But those two things are two totally different things, right? It's like rushing, you know, it's like you can rush a relationship and also think that it's too good to be true or something like that. But I feel like this is saying take your time, but also, like, allow it to happen. Allow the connection to develop with the Four of Cups if this is love. I also feel like you need to just let go of the disappointment energy in general, Capricorn. I do feel, I've said this to you a million times before, I feel like Capricorn is too used to disappointment based off of a lot of stuff that happened, mostly Pluto in Capricorn for the last 20 years. Like, a lot of disappointment energy in your life. And so I think the hard thing for Capricorn to do right now is to change that story. Like, you need to really truly work on believing that good things can happen to you, right? And maybe you need to say that as an affirmation, or maybe you need to start, you know, writing that every single day. But I think you need to believe it, because, you know, that's the thing that's going to create the most change for you. You have the Two of Pentacles. This is like work hard, play hard. So I feel like a lot of you could be putting in the work to make things happen in your life. I don't really feel much here. I do feel like some of you could almost feel like you're getting a settlement from the universe. There are a couple cards in the tarot I call clue cards, and this is one of them. The Two of Pentacles to me can sometimes be a clue for a settlement, meaning if, like, you know, it could be like an insurance payout, a lawsuit, or, you know, whatever, something like that. But I kind of feel this is more like a settlement from the universe. Like, if you've been putting a lot of work into things, I feel like you could be getting better, like, financial results based off your work. With the Lovers, you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands can be inconsistent energy, so I would be careful if a person is inconsistent. But at the same time, I feel pretty good about this connection if you're attracting love. I feel this is more like worries. I also feel, obviously, with the World right here, you know, this could be an adventure. The Knight of Wands could say that this could be a person where you travel with the person, or maybe they're long distance or something like that, Capricorn. It could be an earth sign, fire sign. You have everything basically here, but fire and air actually stand out to me, but it could be any sign, general reading. But again, it could be like something long distance. I think you've been getting fire with me, and so if it, you know, it could be a fire sign, or it could just be a very fiery person. With the Four of Cups, you have the Five of Cups. Again, you get, like, literally the card of disappointment. You know, the Four of Cups, I said disappointment, but it's not really a card of disappointment. It's a card of contemplation and apathy. The Five of Cups is disappointment. So this is what you have to work on, is like the fear that nothing works for you, and needing to kind of brainwash yourself into believing that things can't work for you. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is being spoiled for choice and juggling. Like, the Two of Pentacles is spinning plates, doing too much at once. Seven of Cups, kind of the same thing. He's, like, focusing on too many different aspects of his life, and he needs to maybe focus in on something that he wants. So, you know, this looks pretty good, but you do have, like, the Four Wands, which would represent committing to one thing. And so I think and also the Ace of Wands as well, I think this is saying don't overcomplicate things at this time, you know, especially in love. I feel like this is saying Ace of Wands, Seven of Cups is like saying keep it simple. You have this horse that says short journey on it. I do think travel, journeying, going on adventures, all that is very good for everyone right now. So there you go. You have this crown. It says honor and respect will come to you. The world card, I said on the world card how I'm always saying to Capricorn, it's like you need to be on top of the world. I don't necessarily think you are on top of the world yet, but I think there are opportunities for you to get on top of the world, to have that feeling. And, you have to do all the things we said in this reading, but if you do that, definitely could be honor and respect. You have this older woman. It says dealing with relationships with an older woman. You have this moon card. It says changes in your life. There could be an older woman that is bringing change to your life or creating change in your life. So there you go. You have this carrot. It says opportunity or windfall. There definitely could be like a windfall coming in for you as far as like finances are concerned or something. But, the carrot is interesting because we have the green garbage at the top and like the good part is under the ground. And so, I kind of feel like some of you do have an opportunity in your life that's like a carrot. It's like there's once you get started or once you pull it out of the ground, that's where like the good stuff is. So it's like something might actually be better than expected with this reading. It's like, especially if you're starting an opportunity or finding love, for example. This could be better than what you thought, and even better, like beyond your wildest dreams type of energy there. You have this shark. It says, take care or there will be loss of material wealth. Yes, keep an eye on your finances. Everybody has to do this for the next 20 years. So, I think everybody should keep an eye on their finances. I wouldn't be paranoid about it. I would just keep an eye on your finances. It's just that simple. And if you do that, you will be fine. But this looks really good here, Capricorn. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.